Hello everybody and welcome to the Summerslam stream. So, yep, I'm going to be giving my thoughts on SummerSlam. So, I'm not going to waste too much of your time. I'm just going to be jumping straight into things. We're going to be kicking things off by talking about the first match, Logan Paul versus Ricochet. I did not watch the entire match from the start. I basically woke up. Well, technically, I just realized that the show did start at 10, so I technically didn't really miss much. But anyway, hey Sean, hey Isabel, welcome to the stream. We're going to be talking about SummerSlam tonight. We're going to be talking about SummerSlam, giving my thoughts on the entire show, and I'll be telling you guys what happened. The show kicked off with Logan Paul versus Ricochet. Logan Paul, unfortunately, got the win. He had to cheat. He used a pair of brass knuckles. To defeat Ricochet. So yeah, there's that. Don't really have a whole lot to say about that. Don't really care. Don't really care. Not a big fan of it. So yeah, that's that. So yeah, that's that. Not a fan of Logan taking the L to Ricochet would have been better, but it's whatever. But it's whatever. So after that, we had Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar in a pretty. It was an alright match. Brock dominated most of it. I didn't like the whole Brock kept trying to get Cody Rhodes counted out thing, because I didn't understand the logic of why he was trying to get Cody Rhodes don't know why he was trying to get Cody Rhodes counted out. But in the end, Cody Rhodes was able to overcome the beast and was able to deliver not one, not two, but 3 crossroads, and was able to take down Brock Lesnar and pin him for the 3. Brock then showed respect. He then showed respect to Cody Rhodes after the match. So Brock showed the whole point. So I'm just assuming the whole point of the feud was for Brock Lesnar to earn for Cody to earn Brock's respect. I guess that was the point of the feud, but regardless, Cody's the winner, and so there's that. Next we get the most boring match on the entire card, Ronda Rousey versus Shayna Baszler in an MMA rules match. Crowd gave 0 Fs about the match. The crowd couldn't care less, and I love it. I love how the crowd just gave absolutely no shits about the match. 0 reaction for both women. The crowd just sat there in silence, chanting, "This is boring." Ronda and Shayna were just awkwardly walking around with no reaction from the audience. You could clearly hear them talking to each other because of how dead the entire audience was. The crowd were chanting, "This is boring," and all that other stuff. The crowd just did not give a shit about the match. And you know what? Ronda kind of deserves it. Ronda kind of deserves that kind of treatment in her final match, considering how little she cares. If she put more effort into her career, into her WWE career, then maybe we would have given her more respect. You see, this is why I've always preferred Ken Shamrock. That's why he's like the only MMA guy I actually take seriously. That's why Ken Shamrock is like the only guy from the MMA I actually respect, because he didn't keep using his whole MMA background to get over. He actually wanted to be there. For starters, he actually wanted to be there, and two, he actually got better in the ring. He actually wanted to wrestle. Ronda Rousey, she just kept using her, oh, I'm a former MMA fighter, I'm the best mixed martial arts, the best combat sport athlete in the world. She kept using the whole, I'm the best combat sports shit to try and get her over, and the crowd just didn't give a shit. And Ronda Rousey's entire WWE career has been title opportunity after title opportunity, big title feud after title feud, big match after big match. She never had to scratch and claw to work her way up. She never proved that she wanted to be there. Never once she ever showed love and care to the wrestling business. She just never cared about it. And that's the whole point of Ronda Rousey. She just never gave a shit. If she showed that if she showed more passion, more fire, and actually gave a shit and actually and proved herself that she wanted to be there, then people like me wouldn't rag on Ronda Rousey. Most of us wouldn't crap on Ronda Rousey that much. But because she clearly showed she just did not care, it's hard to take her seriously. The crowd just stopped caring about her. Ronda Rousey destroyed her own popularity. Like, she destroyed her own aura by not giving back, by never putting people over. She never put anyone over. Yeah, and she's talked crap about the company many times, and she's called the company fake. She's called wrestling fake. She has said so much shit about the company, calling it a fake sport, and yet she didn't get punished for it a single time. She didn't get any kind of punishment for calling the company that she works for fake. So, in my personal opinion, the kind of reaction Ronda Rousey got in her final match, I'm just going to say it was absolutely deserved. She deserved it, she got what she deserved, and that's what she gets for showing no love and no care for the wrestling industry. So as far as I'm concerned, bye-bye Ronda Rousey. I will never miss you. I will not miss you, and we will never miss you. And we don't want to, and we don't want you to come back ever. Stay the hell away for good. Stay away forever. Never, ever, ever come back. We don't want to see your ugly face ever again. And you may think that's harsh, but it's true. No one wants to see her. Oh, she complains about everything, knowing her. Hey, I got to use the Dragon Balls for once. Knowing her, knowing Ronda Rousey, she'll find something to complain about, because she's the biggest whining. She's the world's greatest complainer on the planet. She's the biggest crybaby on the planet. I think that's the word I was looking for. So yeah, Shayna Baszler wins. So Shayna Baszler wins. She chokes Ronda out with the Karafuda clutch. And bye-bye Ronda Rousey. Thank you for coming. Never ever come back. We had the over-the-top rope predictable Battle Royal. I'm just going to say right now, the Battle Royal was super predictable. LA Knight won the entire Battle Royal. Super duper predictable. That was the whole purpose of the Battle Royal. The whole purpose of the Battle Royal was to give LA Knight something to do at SummerSlam, and it showed here. And they were hyping up this whole, oh, there's a special entrant. there's one more person, one final surprise in the entire Battle Royal. Everyone was like, Johnny Gargano. Everyone was like, oh, it's going to be Johnny Gargano. Everyone was like, oh, it's Bron Breakker. He's going to be the he's going to be the massive surprise. He's going to be the massive surprise. Everyone was hyping up who the massive surprise in that Battle Royal was going to be. And it was Omos. Yes. The surprise entrant in the Battle Royal was Omos. Wow, yippee. Whoop-de freaking do. Whoop-de freaking do. Yes, they had a video package for Becky Lynch. Yes, because Becky Lynch was not at SummerSlam, they made up for it by giving her a video package. And I'm just like, you give her a freaking video package. So stupid. They even had a video package for Liv Morgan as well. They also did one for Liv Morgan, and I think they also did one for someone else. I wasn't paying attention, but I know they did one for Liv as well. But yeah, the whole Battle Royal was predictable. LA Knight won the Battle Royal. It was super predictable. Everybody knew he was going to win. Everybody knew he was going to win, so it was just super predictable. The Battle Royal should have just been renamed to the LA Knight Battle Royal, because that's really what that Battle Royal was all about. It was all about him. So yeah, I've got really nothing to say about that. LA Knight won the LA Knight Battle Royal. That's what I'm calling the Slim Jim Battle Royal. I'm calling it the LA Knight Battle Royal because that's what the whole Battle Royal was built around. Was built around LA Knight. Don't get me wrong, I love LA Knight. Don't get me wrong, I'm a big fan of LA Knight, but I hate how they had to literally force him on the card. Like, I just hate that they had to take Becky and Trish off the card just so then LA Knight could get on. You could have just had the entire Battle Royal be on the pre-show, but then people would have complained, oh, why did they have LA Knight win on the pre-show, man? Should have been on the main card, you know? So, it's whatever. LA Knight wins the LA Knight Battle Royal. Then we get Seth freaking Rollins taking on Finn Balor. Saw an interview with Zoe. She talked about Becky versus Trish being pulled from SummerSlam. She was a company girl when she answered. Of course she was. She's not going to piss off the company. Of course, because Zoe doesn't want to be honest about it. She doesn't want to lose her push. Yes, anyway, Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor was actually pretty good. I enjoyed it. Damian Priest came out, and so did Dominic and Rhea. They were all trying to give Finn Balor the unfair advantage, and Finn began arguing with Damian Priest. He began arguing with Damian Priest, and there was so many moments where it looked like Finn was going to win the World Heavyweight title, but Seth Rollins continued to fight back. Seth survived multiple coup de grace. Finn survived a curb stomp. Like, it's very rare to see someone kick out of the curb stomp. I'm just going to say that. It's very rare to see someone kick out of the curb stomp. So very rare to see anyone kick out of the curb stomp, so that happened. But eventually Seth ended up winning. He curb stomped Finn Balor's head on the briefcase to allow Seth Rollins to walk away with the victory, and Damian Priest looked pretty annoyed at Finn Balor. So I know a lot of people want my thoughts on the whole Judgment Day becoming the new Bloodline. Like, obviously I like the Judgment Day more than the Bloodline. I'm not sick of the Judgment Day. Not like I was with the Bloodline. But I'd much rather Rhea actually, you know, defend her title. And secondly, I know a lot of people, you know, I'm going to make a bold prediction here. A lot of people think Damian Priest is going to turn face. Personally, I'm going to make a bold prediction. I'm going to say, I think Finn Balor is going to be the one that gets booted out of the Judgment Day. Because I know some people may think, oh, Damian Priest, you know, he's got the briefcase, you know, and all that shit. Like, yeah, I agree, he does have the briefcase. But I personally think they're getting fed up with Finn Balor. I think they're getting very fed up with Finn Balor constantly bossing them around. And I think maybe they'll just boot him out instead of Damian Priest being booted out. Now, yes, it may many people may think, oh, well, it makes sense for Damian Priest to get booted out, though. But here's the thing. When Finn and Damian were arguing the first time, Dominic and Rhea were very supportive towards Damian Priest wanting to win the World Heavyweight title. Like, they were very supportive towards it. Like, they were super supportive. Like, they were super supportive towards Damian wanting to successfully cash in and win the World Heavyweight Championship. While Finn Balor was against Damian Priest cashing in and becoming World Champion. Like, Finn Balor wants to be the guy that beats Seth. So that's why I think Finn Balor could get booted out of the Judgment Day, because they're going to be supportive towards Damian and not towards Finn. Again, it's just my opinion. You don't have to agree, but I just think there might be a strong chance maybe Finn Balor gets booted out and he turns babyface. Like, they're not going to turn the Judgment Day face. They're not going to turn Judgment Day face. If Finn gets booted out, then he'll go back babyface, and I know Sean would love that. But that's just what I think. I don't think it'll happen. I do think it probably will be Damian Priest that gets booted out, but you know, we'll just have to wait and see where the storyline goes from there. And yes, I know I probably missed it. And yes, I know I probably went too far ahead. And yes, I do remember Gunther and Drew had their match. Gunther and Drew, pretty fun match. I thought their match was pretty fun. Gunther retaining was the right decision. I know a lot of people probably thought, you know, maybe there was a chance that Drew was going to win. Another thing here is that when Gunther kicked out of the Claymore, was that the first time someone has actually ever survived the Claymore? Was that the first time? Was that the very first time someone has actually ever kicked out of the Claymore? Like, the commentators didn't really make it a big deal when Gunther kicked out of the Claymore. I believe that might have been the first time we've seen someone survive it. Was Gunther versus Drew a banger? Yes, it was a banger. It absolutely was a banger. Anyway, yeah, Gunther versus Drew was a banger. It was pretty good. But the only negative I really have about all this is that Drew came back just to lose. That's the other thing that I kind of feel a little bit bad for. I was like, Drew went away for months. He went away for months just to come back at Money in the Bank, have a big match with Gunther at SummerSlam just to lose. So I kind of felt a little bad. I was just like, man, imagine disappearing for months and then you come back and then you lose. Like, sure, Drew had several matches before the SummerSlam match, but I'm just saying, like, after being gone for that long, you think that wouldn't be the right thing to do. But regardless, it was a good match, and Gunther is definitely on the road to success, and he's on the road to breaking the record. Yes, he is. He's definitely on that road. Next is the triple threat match for the WWE Women's Championship, and I have a lot to say about this. I have a lot to say about it, not just because of the outcome, but I have a lot to say about it because it really grinded my gears. The match itself was fine. It has nothing to do with the match itself. I'm more pissed at the freaking internet than the fan base as a whole. Everybody, for weeks and weeks and weeks, have been doing this whole bullshit of how, oh, the women's division deserves better. You know, like they've been doing this whole shit of how the women deserve better. And how do they react to the triple threat? Dead silence. Are you for real? After all the give women's division a chance, give the women a chance, after all the stupid give the women's a chance hashtags, you just sit there in silence, not giving a flying turd of what's going on in that ring. That's what irked me about the match. After all the hashtags, after all the bitching and moaning about how women deserve better, after all of that, after all the whinging, after all the complaining about how the women deserve better, and that's how you respond to it? You just sit there, not caring. You just sit there with your hands on your ass, and you don't make a reaction. Nothing, literally nothing. That pisses me off. It just shows that all that bullshit, all that hashtag bullshit was just all bullshit. You're just complaining for the sake of complaining. Do the women's division deserve better or not? It really... I'm done with this. I'm really sick and tired of the internet just being whiny little bitches about everything. And they want to speak up and do the right thing. They want to speak up and do the right thing, but yet at SummerSlam, the fans didn't give a shit about that triple threat. They only reacted until Io came out. That was only when they started reacting. They only reacted when Io came out. It's like they were asleep. It's like they were asleep the entire match, and then once Io came out, then they all woke up. Like, seriously, it's so stupid. It's so stupid, and it's pathetic. I thought those three... Like, I'm not the biggest fan of Bianca, but even I will give her credit when credit is due. And that's the thing about... And that's the thing about being fair. Like, I don't care if you're not a fan of someone, but at least give them credit when that credit is due. So it's just ridiculous. Like, all three of the women did incredibly well in that match. I considered it the best match on the card, and then the crowd just don't give a shit. The crowd just didn't give a shit, and then Bianca got hurt, which was obviously storyline. Bianca then got hurt. She then came back, and then she ended up winning the bloody title. Bianca then came back, and it almost felt like I was watching Super Bianca again. It's almost like I was witnessing the rebirth of Super Bianca Belair. It's like I was just witnessing the rebirth of Super Bianca. She bloody came back after almost tearing her knee, and then she ends up fighting back and then wins the entire match. And I'll tell you what, that didn't make me happy. Well, Bianca won the match. So technically, yes, I guess her streak did end. But maybe they'll say, oh, but she wasn't pinned, so therefore the streak stays alive. But I think it does count that her streak ended, because Bianca won. She ended up pinning Asuka. With a roll-up. And then out came Damage Control. Out came Io with Bailey. Bailey took out Charlotte, and they also took out Asuka. Like they took out Charlotte and Asuka to prevent them from interfering. Bianca tried to unleash her inner Super Bianca, her inner Super Saiyan Bianca, her Super Saiyan Bianca Belair powers on Bayley and Io, but that didn't work out too well. And then Io cashes in her Money in the Bank, delivers the moonsault, and pins Bianca Belair to become the new WWE Women's Champion. So Io Sky is the new Women's Champion. And I will be honest, I'm surprised Bayley did not turn. I really thought Bayley was going to turn on Io. See, this is what I mean. When I say I hate when a new champion is crowned and they go back to the previous champion. I just want to say, never put the title on Asuka again. Never put the title on her again. This was by far Asuka's worst title reign out of all of her title reigns. And look, you're never going to recreate the magic they did with Asuka in NXT. They're never going to recreate that magic. It pisses me off how fans just want Asuka to be the Asuka of NXT. Can we get over that? It's never gonna happen. They're never gonna recreate that magic. What if Asuka doesn't want to be that Asuka anymore? Like, it was fine when she first came in because she was a big deal. They were building her up as a big deal when she first debuted. It was fine when she first debuted, but if you're just gonna keep having her do that for like the rest of her career, it would just get boring. It would just get ridiculously boring. Her being undefeated, her winning every match, her being champion for 1 billion days because, oh, we want Asuka to be this unstoppable monster. Like, you can still make her a monster. You can still make her unbeatable. You can still make her an unbeatable monster. But there are times that even the monster has to hit a wall. So Asuka's title reign was completely useless. They had Asuka win the title, hold it for like 2 months. She was literally champion for like, well, not even 2 months. She actually wasn't even champion for at least 2 months. It felt like a month. It felt like a month and a few weeks. But yeah, Asuka's title reign was pretty stupid. Asuka's title reign was stupid. It was pointless. It was stupid. It was pointless. And then they had Bianca win the title back only for Io to cash in. So Bianca went from having the longest reigning, you know, they went from calling her the longest reigning women's champion of the modern era. Well, now call Bianca Belair the shortest reigning women's champion of the modern era, because I believe she held that. I believe that's the shortest reign in the Raw Women's Championship history. And that means Sasha Banks no longer holds that record anymore. Because Sasha Banks, I believe Sasha had the record of the shortest reign as Raw Women's Champion. Well, Bianca now has the longest reign and the shortest reign. So yeah, Io Sky's the new champion. Dakota Kai was there to celebrate with Bayley and Io. So Damage Control reuniting, which was pretty cool to see. 1 year to the day when Damage Control debuted. Do I still think Bayley turns on Io? Yes. I still think it's gonna happen. I think now that Io is champion, they're probably going to eventually start building to Bayley eventually getting jealous of Io. Yes, she's dealing with Shotzi. Yes, I know, she's dealing with Shotzi. Yes, I know, she's dealing with Shotzi, so how can she turn on Io and deal with Shotzi at the same time? Well, I think she'll lose the feud to Shotzi. When they eventually have their next match, Bayley will lose. Bayley will lose her feud to Shotzi, because Shotzi's going to need to get revenge on her for what happened to her hair. So I see Bayley losing the feud to Shotzi, because Bayley is selfless and she'll put over anyone, even if they're trash wrestlers like Shotzi. And then after that feud wraps up, they'll begin building to Bailey eventually turning on Io, I feel. My thoughts on Kairi Sane, I'll get to that. So, news broke early this morning when I got up, that Kairi Sane is returning to WWE. Now, I don't know where this news came from. I don't know where the speculation started. I remember Tom Colohue saying that there was nothing. He had no news about the whole situation about Kairi. He said he knew nothing about the whole situation with Kairi. But that's why I tell you that you shouldn't always believe Tom. That's why I always keep, like, I know a lot of people really like Tom Colohue. Well, I know Sean does, and a few other people do, and including me. I know a lot of us, some people like Tom Colohue, but he said that he had no knowledge of anything about Kairi. And for him to say that, and then this whole news report came out about Kairi returning to WWE, clearly tells me that he had no idea about the news about her, or he did know, but he just never said anything. So my thoughts on Kairi returning to WWE, I think it's cool. I think reforming her with Asuka would be fun. I think reuniting the Kabuki Warriors would be fun. I think it'd be a nice, strong addition to the tag division. But as I said, I don't really want Asuka to be a champion anymore, because I literally just said why she shouldn't be a champion anymore. Yes, I know, I saw it. I know, I saw it. But yes, Kairi is returning, and honestly, I was always a fan of Kairi, and I guess it's cool to see her back. But I don't know, man. I just don't know how I feel about it. Like, considering how the women's division has been booked lately, considering how the women's division has been handled lately, why should we really put our faith in Triple H? Considering how the women's division has been booked lately, it's kind of hard to say it's really hard to say how Kairi will do. She's only being brought back because she's one of Triple H's favorites. She's someone that Triple H is a big fan of. So again, if Kairi's returning, you better have plans for her. Like, I don't want Kairi to end up like Emma, okay? I don't want her to end up like Emma. Like her just coming back and then she's on a losing streak. You know what I mean? Like, she comes back and then they've got no plans for her. You know what I mean? Like, if you're gonna bring back Kairi, you better have plans for her. You better have plans for her to face Rhea. You better have plans lined up for her to either reunite with Asuka or to challenge Io. Like, you better have plans lined up for her. I don't want her to end up like Emma and Tegan and all those other girls. Brought back Candice brought back just for depth in their women, brought back just for the sake of having more women on their roster. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't want her to be like Emma and Tegan and Candice, like, just there for the sake of being there. Just there for roster depth and nothing else. So they better have plans in place for the Pirate Princess. So they better have plans in line for her. But if I know WWE, they probably don't. They probably don't have plans for her. And now it's finally time for the main event. And now it's time for the main event. Tribal Combat. Jey Uso goes one-on-one with Roman Reigns for the undisputed Universal Championship. The match, I'm gonna be honest, it was boring. I will be honest, it was slow-paced, it was boring. I can't stand slow-paced matches. Like I'm fine with the match starting off slow, but then eventually the pace picks up. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like I'm fine with the match like starting off incredibly slowly, but then eventually the pace picks up, and then like everything starts getting crazy. It just didn't feel that way. It felt slow the entire time. It was slow and boring. Roman Reigns taking about 500 trillion years to get to the ring. Taking a billion years to get to the ring. You know, he takes about a billion years to get to the ring. And overall, I just really didn't enjoy the match. I thought it was really boring. Yeah, we saw Jimmy Uso, which I'm gonna get to that. So the entire match, Solo eventually interferes. Once again, Roman Reigns wins with outside help. The last time Roman Reigns actually won a match without help was against Matt Riddle on SmackDown. So the fact that this man has gone through a whole year without having help really tells you that Roman Reigns isn't the greatest champion of all time. I can't stand when people say, oh, he's the greatest champion of all time. He's the greatest champion of all time because of how long he's been the champion for. He's not. Just because he has a long reign doesn't mean he's the greatest champion of all time. Like, Asuka is still credited as the greatest NXT Women's Champion of all time. Well, based off of her lengthy reign, because she was champion for 500 days. And secondly, she never had help throughout those 500 plus days. To me, you're a great champion. If you hold the title for a long time and you can actually do it, you know, without outside help. Which many people could say, well, that was Bianca Belair during her 400 plus day reign. Like, she's one of the best women's champions of all time for that reason. Like, I still consider Becky Lynch the best women's champion of all time. Like, her first reign as Raw Women's Champion. And Becky Lynch. I'm going to use Becky Lynch's first reign as Raw Women's Champion as the example. And Bayley. I consider Bayley and Becky the best women's champions for the Raw. Becky's the best Raw Women's Champion, and Bayley is the best SmackDown Women's Champion. But based off of their reign and how good their matches were. So, what do you do with the title makes you a great champion? For example, Gunther. Yeah, and Gunther, in my opinion, is definitely the best Intercontinental Champion of the modern era. Austin Theory is the exact opposite. He's basically the worst United States champion of all time, who's barely done anything with the title. He's barely done anything with that freaking title, but yet everyone goes on about, oh, look how long he's been champion for. He's beaten John Cena. Yeah, he beat John Cena? Yeah, well, like, Theory beat Cena? Yeah, whoop-de-doo. It did nothing for his career. You would think beating John Cena would have came off more of a bigger deal. Bayley was a better champion than Sasha? Yeah, because Bayley had the longest reign. Bayley had the longest reign with that SmackDown Women's title. Sasha's first reign as SmackDown Women's Champion, I'd say, is the second best reign with the SmackDown Women's title, and I'd also say Naomi is also up there as one of the best SmackDown Women's Champions. But let's not forget, Rhea Ripley's title is technically the SmackDown Women's title. They've just carried the history of that championship to that. They've just carried over the history of that championship onto Rhea's title. When it comes to the Raw Women's Champion, when it comes to the Raw Women's title, Becky is definitely the best champion. I'd probably put Bianca second, and I'd probably put Alexa Bliss in third. If you were to tell me the top 3 champions of those titles, I'd put Becky first, Bianca second, and then Alexa third. When it comes to the SmackDown one, I'd probably do Bayley first, Sasha second, and Naomi third. In my opinion, it's my opinion. You don't have to agree. You don't have to agree with my opinion. You might have a different list than me. Remember, Austin beat an old Cena, not Cena in his prime. But also, Cena said that even if he did win, he'd still lose because the fans don't care about him. But you just got to remember what John Cena said about Austin Theory in his promo. Like, he said, like, it doesn't matter if you beat me because you still lose because the fans don't care about you. And the fans don't care about Theory. It's just a straight fact. Fans just do not give a shit about Austin Theory. But yeah, anyway, I didn't mean to jump off. I didn't mean to jump off topic there. But anyway, Jimmy Uso, I guess turns. I'm not sure if it's really a heel turn. Like, as what Sean said, like it might not be a heel turn, but we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see on SmackDown to see where they go with it. So, Jimmy Uso, I guess, sort of turns. He costs Jey Uso the Undisputed Championship. He costs him the Undisputed title. And if this is an official breakup, then this would be the first time ever that the Usos have ever broken up. If it is an official breakup. If it's an official breakup, then the Usos have split up for the very, very first time. I'm honestly intrigued to see where they go with it. So of course Roman Reigns is still the champion because of course he's never gonna lose that bloody belt. So we're gonna have to wait until WrestleMania 40. I guarantee you Roman Reigns is not gonna defend that title for the rest of the year. I can probably make a guarantee to you right now. We're not going to see Roman at Payback. We're not going to see him at Fastlane. We're not going to see him at Survivor Series. We're not going to see him at whatever pay-per-view December's going to have. He's not going to defend that title for the rest of the year. His match with Jey could potentially have been his final title defense in 2023. Can't believe we're still in this whole Roman BS. I mean, I shouldn't be surprised at this point. You know, I enjoyed Roman's title reign for a while. Like I enjoyed it for like maybe the first year and a half. But then after a while, I kind of got bored of it. I think I really hit my breaking point with Roman's title reign when he didn't lose to Cody. And let's not forget, remember, people said, oh, Roman would lose to his cousins because they're his family. Yeah. Yeah, he'd lose to, he would only lose to his family. Yeah, he didn't seem to want to lose to Jey Uso though. He's all like, nah, I'd rather see the two Uso brothers. I'd like to see the two Uso twins, you know, have a feud instead of giving Jey Uso his moment. You know, everyone made fun of Cody Rhodes for not finishing his story. Well, Jey Uso didn't finish his story. So I guess we can say Jey Uso didn't finish his story either. He's not the real tribal chief. So overall, SummerSlam was, my overall opinions, it was alright. It wasn't good, it wasn't great, it wasn't, oh my god, I want to go back and watch it material. It wasn't really, oh my god, I'm definitely going to go re-watch this material. It was alright. It wasn't great. It wasn't great and it wasn't good either. It was alright. It was a tag team match, dude. It was a tag team match. Are we really gonna say, oh, but he technically lost that Money in the Bank? I more meant when it matters most. Are you gonna tell me that, oh, Jey beating Roman at Money in the Bank is what mattered most? Did it matter the most at Money in the Bank though? No, it didn't matter the most at Money in the Bank. It matters most when the title is on the line. That's when it matters. Jey Uso's victory over Roman Reigns really should have mattered more when the title was on the line. He beat him in a tag team match where his title wasn't even threatened. So I'm sorry. Yes, he did lose at Money in the Bank, but it didn't matter. It didn't matter at most. It should only it should only count when it matters most. So Jey Uso didn't finish his story because it didn't because he lost when it mattered when it mattered the most. So overall, I thought SummerSlam was alright. Not good, not great, not something I definitely go back and re-watch. It was fine. Definitely the women's triple threat was the highlight for me, and Io cashing in. Yeah, that was really the highlight for me. That was really the only best part of the entire show, in my opinion. Did the Sammy KO win matter? Yes, because they won the titles at WrestleMania. Yes, because they won the titles at WrestleMania. They won when it mattered. They won the titles when it mattered. Also, I just want to quickly say this to you, Sean. I think you didn't understand when I said it. When I said Anna Jay, when I said Anna Jay was fighting Sheeta for the title, I didn't mean it was happening on Collision today. I didn't mean it was happening on Collision today. Apparently it's happening next week on It's happening next week on Dynamite, I think. I was talking about Night of Champions. Well, here's the thing. They didn't win clean. They won because Jimmy Uso turned. And again, as I said, like, Roman's title wasn't on the line. And they pinned Solo. And they pinned Solo Sikoa. And look, I'm trying to be as fair as possible, man, but sometimes I feel I'm trying to be as fair as possible and giving you my personal opinions. But every time this shit happens, I always feel like I always feel like you're just questioning my words, and you're just like, oh, you think it doesn't matter? All right, well, I'll run down other matches, and I'll run down a bunch of other matches instead, and then I'll say, oh, did this match matter? Did that match matter? Did this one matter? So hard to form an opinion without someone being all like, oh, but okay, well, I'll give you a ton of other matches that did it matter more then. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just comes off annoying. It just comes off really annoying. If I say it didn't matter, it's my opinion. If you think it mattered, that's perfectly fine. Here's the thing, Sean. If you think Jey Uso's victory mattered more at Money in the Bank, that's fine. That's your opinion. That's fine. That's your opinion. If you think it matters, great. And if I think it doesn't matter, and if I think it didn't matter, and it should have mattered more today at SummerSlam, then that's my opinion. Then that's my opinion. You don't have to agree with me. You don't have to agree with me. And if you think it mattered, if you think Jay's win mattered more at Money in the Bank, then that's perfectly fine. If you think Sammy and KO's win at Night of Champions mattered more, then that's fine. But sometimes I feel, every time I say something, you're just like, oh, okay, well, alright, well, alright, fine, then I'll run down other matches. I feel like I just can't form an opinion. It's my opinion. You don't have to agree with it. Just like when I said Bayley was a better champion than Sasha. You don't have to agree. Well, and I know you hate Bayley anyway, so anything I say about Bayley you disagree with anyway. You despise Bayley. You despise Bayley, so anything I say about Bayley you instantly disagree with anyway. Well, then that's your opinion. I don't think it was a big deal. I feel it would have been an even bigger deal if Jey Uso won the Undisputed Championship. It would have been even bigger if Jey won the title. So you're trying to say if Jey won the title, it wouldn't have been a bigger deal? Like, oh my god, Jey's dethroned Roman Reigns as Tribal Chief. Jey is the new Tribal Chief. You're saying that wouldn't have been a bigger deal? So you're saying the victory at Money in the Bank is bigger? Would have been bigger if Jey won the title from Roman instead? So you're saying Money in the Bank would have been is a bigger deal than Jey beating Roman for the title and becoming the Tribal Chief. Is that what you're trying to say? If you're trying to say pinning Roman in a tag team match is a bigger deal than beating Roman Reigns to become the champion and Tribal Chief, then you're completely insane. winning a title is bigger than just randomly winning a random tag team match that had no stakes involved. I'm not trying to argue, but there was no stakes. The only reason they made a big deal out of it was because Roman got pinned for the first time in 3 years. That was the only reason they made a big deal about it. It would have been way bigger if Jay beat Roman for the title. That's why I'm saying SummerSlam, it mattered more. I'm not trying to argue, man, but you're really trying to push it here. If you think a tag team match is bigger than him winning a title, then that's fine. Then that's your opinion. I'm not going to argue about it. I just think you're insane if you think winning a random ass tag team match at a pay-per-view is a bigger deal than him winning the title, then there's something wrong with you. That's all I'm trying to say. Then everyone should make a big deal about it when Gunther gets pinned in a tag team match. Alright, let's say Gunther gets beat for the first time in a tag team match. Are you going to make a big deal about it? Are you going to say, oh, this is a big deal? But then, you're going to make a big deal about it if Gunther loses in a random ass tag match and he's the one that gets pinned? That's all I'm trying to say, man. It was a tag team match. Nothing was at stake. Title means bigger is bigger. Then winning a title is bigger. Cody definitely should have won the title. I still stand by Cody being the one to beat Roman. I still stand by it. And I feel like it's... But again, the more irritating thing about it... The irritating thing about it is that when Cody wins... If he does, I should say if he does, not when, if he does win the title next year, then we're all just going to be scratching our heads like, why didn't you just do this last year? You know what I mean? Like, if Cody does win the title next year, and then we're all just going to be scratching our heads, then we're all going to be like, well then why didn't you just do it last year? That's the problem here. That's my main problem with... That's my main problem. That's gonna be the biggest problem when if Cody does win next year. Because then everyone's gonna be like, well, why didn't they just do it last year? It's whatever. But it is what it is, I guess. Well... Well, those are my thoughts on SummerSlam, and a bit of... And those are my thoughts on SummerSlam, and we'll wrap it up from here. Oh. I just received 1,000 zenny. Huh. Cool. Okay. Well, anyway, thank you all for... June kicking butt like he always does. Yep. Anyway, thank you all for joining me for this, and I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and hit that like button and subscribe, and I will see you all next time.